Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back once again to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My name's Mark Love, and today I've got a used coach for you. This is a 2023 Renegade Valencia. This is the 38BB model. It is a bunkhouse floor plan. And you know, as I was getting ready for this video, something about it seemed familiar. I realized I videoed this one 2 years ago when it was brand new. So for those of you that watch daily, you may remember. Anyway, let's get started. The Valencias are a unique product in that they're built on an S2 RV chassis. This chassis, designed by Freightliner Custom Chassis, is unique in that it's only made for the RV industry. And a couple of the nice features about that, they put their fuel tank in the rear, in the middle, so better balanced, where the M2s and a lot of other chassis have two up front, one on each side, takes up a little bit of room in your storage compartment and so forth. So again, a unique chassis from Freightliner Custom Chassis. And this is powered by a 6.7 liter. It's the Cummins 360 horse engine. With that, you get, it's about 850 foot-pounds of torque, and you get 12,000 pounds of towing. Let's take a look at the engine right now. One of the things that I've pointed out many times before, if you're the type of person that likes to do your own engine work, your own oil changes and stuff, these are easy to work on. Look how I can step inside the chassis. Don't even get dirty when I do it. I can access everything right here. We've got our coolant, windshield wiper fluid, air cleaner right here, air filter, and this little device actually tells you when it's getting clogged. As this gets up in the green or into the red zone, it's time to change your air filter right there. As we walk around the other side, over here we've got our dipstick for our oil, power steering fluid. The oil fills right on top of the engine. We also have our fuse boxes right here, so really easy to get to if you need to check your fuses for any reason. And another thing I like about these are the struts that's with it. So if you are working underneath and a gust of wind comes up and blows it over, it doesn't come crashing down on your head. Closes nice and soft there. In fact, sometimes you gotta help it down. There we go. We do have breakaway mirrors, so maybe you have a real tight garage and you want to put these inside. Be careful that your CB antenna doesn't smack the cap there. They provide that CB antenna and pre-wire it, but you do have to put in your own CB if you want one. And these are very heavy duty. They'll hold a couple of 100 pounds without any problem. Another nice feature is getting into the door of this chassis. First of all, they've got some nice grab handles, especially if you're not real tall. And I like the tread here, the way it would scrape off snow or any dirt or mud. You could kind of wipe it there, get it off your shoes. You do have a plug here if you want to electrically preheat the engine. And then we've got our depth fill right here. Now this has a 100-gallon fuel tank, like I said, and it's more in the back, kind of centered, so you don't have one on each side of the cab here, which creates more room for your storage and your storage tanks. Another thing about this chassis, it does have an air ride seat, which is right here. And you do have a primary and a secondary air tank for this, but that's kind of nice because the front doesn't have air ride. It shocks and leaf spring, so it gives you a more comfortable ride up here in the seat, whereas in the rear you do have airbags, and you can dump those if you're backing into a trailer, or when it comes time to level, it's always good to dump your airbags. But again, very easy to climb up in here, as you can see, even if you're not all that tall. It's not difficult. Okay, let's take a look at some of our storage compartments. Now in this first one, this is our battery compartment. Over here on the left, we have our chassis or our starting batteries. And on the right, you can see we've got 3 Dragonfly lithium batteries. Now the lithium package standard comes with 2. It's an upgrade to get the 3rd one. And then paired with that, we have 525 watts of solar on the roof. There's 3 170 watt panels on the roof. Back here, you notice there's no lock on this compartment, so that tells you it's the propane tank. So you do have propane here for your Truma water heater, also for your cook surface, 3-burner range, and I've always liked cooking over the propane. This compartment, this is just some of your holding tanks. Your black and gray are in these 2. You can see your drain running on the bottom. And while I'm showing you this, I will talk a little bit about the compartment doors. I love the way Renegade makes them. Heavy duty, well insulated, double latches. So you don't have to slam them hard to get them to shut. You just close them and they stay shut. Here's our water compartment. You can see we've got a outside sprayer hose there. We do have a power rewind on our water hose. Right there's the retract button. We can check our batteries and our levels right here. Gray and black dump tanks are in an enclosed heated area. Then we do have the black tank flush there. Cable input, if you're at a park that maybe has a local cable, you can plug into it. And then this is for our tank fill, or if you're running off city water right there. We move back here, and this is our 8,000 watt diesel generator. And it is running now because it's pretty hot and I wanted to turn the air conditioners on. One thing about this generator, it's probably the most common in the RV industry. The good thing about that is if you need to get parts, you can get them. Where some of the other generators, the 10K and the 12.5s, back during COVID, not only was it hard to get that generator, it was hard to get parts for it. So this is a very standard common generator, and they use it on the Valencias, the Veronas, the Verona LEs, I think all the way up to the Explorers they have it. And then back here we've got a nice open compartment. You can see we've got our transfer switch back there, our 50 amp power cord, which does have the manual out, power rewind. When you're camping in cold weather and it's below freezing, that cord can get mighty stiff. So it's a real benefit having that power rewind right there. As we move around back, one thing they did in 23 is they changed both the front and rear cap. The front cap's a little bit more aerodynamic, not so boxy. And on the rear cap, they actually divided this into 2 pieces. So if you should happen to back into a bollard or do some damage on your lower half, you're not replacing the whole cap. You can just replace this bottom section. You can see it's got great LED lights. They put the brake light turn indicators up a little bit higher. You get the one in the middle here. It also has a 3-way camera. You can see our rear view camera up above there. Right here we've got our 7-way plug, and then this is our 2-inch receiver. It is rated to pull 12,000 pounds, which is a pretty big load for that 6.7 engine, but that's what these are made for towing heavier loads. Let's take a look on the passenger side here. Now I left this slide out. It's a little bit easier to get underneath it on this side. But the main slide over on the driver's side I wanted in, so when we get inside you can see how it travels. Love the way they line their steel compartments with felt there, carpet type substance. And again, very easy to shut these. Another large storage compartment. And over here we do have our LP Quick Connect. So if you're bringing a gas grill or portable fireplace that you want to use outside, very quick and easy to plug into it right there. Here we've got another large compartment that kind of goes underneath the rails a little bit. So if you've got some bigger items, maybe a camp table or some of those longer chairs, camp chairs, they'll fit under here. Right next to it, there's another rather large compartment. And then above that, we do have our outside TV. This is a 31-inch Insignia Smart TV with a sound bar. You notice there is another 110 plug there. They all have their individual lights. I've got to have that turned on in each compartment. And then we've got one more storage compartment here. Up here is our inverter, and this is a 3,000 watt pure sine inverter. With those 3 lithium batteries, you can be out camping a long time without running out of power. And by the way, these are called the transit bars. They're for your slide outs. Now, Renegade recommends that you use them while you're traveling, but I find it ironic that they don't use them when they bring it out to us. And if you notice, there's no scuffs there, so these have never been used. And right here we've got our Truma AquaGo. Now this is an on-demand water heater. Unlike the Veronas and the other products that are on a heavier chassis, they have an AquaHot, a hydronic heating system. This is a propane heating system. However, it is on demand. And with 150 gallons of fresh water, you could have 2, 3, 4 people shower back to back without running out of hot water. Okay, and again, while we're here, get a look at the awning. It's a full-length awning. You've got a nice strip of LED lights outside. It is motion censored. As the wind starts picking up, it's going to close itself. Sometimes when we walk in and you rock the RV a little bit, it'll shut itself, but you can adjust that sensitivity, so I don't believe it's going to do it this time. Let's go in and take a look at the inside. Now, I did want to show you what it's like when you travel, especially people that they comment they have big dogs, and they want them to be able to get through here without stumbling. You've got plenty of room. You can access your refrigerator, get all the way back to the bathroom. Of course, the bunk slide is out right now, but there's nothing constricting here that's going to prevent you from making a sandwich, going to the bathroom, getting back into the bedroom if you want to. And then another thing I always like to talk about, this may take a minute to bring it back up, but there is the Vega Touch app, and it's already detected the unit. When you come in, if you hit your settings, go to the mobile app, it's going to tell me which unit you're in. And you can see I'd already been paired, so I'm into it here. You have your master light switch for your on and off. You can start your generator, get to your AC, which I've already got running. Right now, I am going to run the slide outs. So this is for your slides and the awning. And there we go. The nice thing about this app, if you're by yourself, maybe you've got a tree or something tight to your coach over there, you're not sure if you have enough room, you can walk outside and keep an eye on it as you're running your slides out. You can also level it from right here. Maybe you want to stand outside and watch it level, make sure you're not on too much of a slope and so forth. So again, Vega Touch. Once you get one of these, it's easier to download the app and get into this system. And this will basically do everything that you have right here. So let me go ahead and show you this. This is our main Firefly panel. As you can see, our master light on, off. There's our temperature, holding tanks. This unit just came in on trade, still has to be emptied. Generator that we've got running. We can do our lights individually if we want, or the master on, off. That's our power. You can see I've got the generator running. It's telling me the levels of my house and chassis batteries. Again, there's our heating, air conditioning, bathroom fan. We've got some power vent fans. There is our slide outs and our awnings. And again, at the bottom you've got the settings, and when it's time to pair, it'll give you which unit you're in, which is handy because we've got a dozen units that'll pull up around our lot. Tells me this one, and there's my code right there. So that's your main Firefly panel. Okay, let's start up front. So this does have the overhead bunk, and this is an option. You have to choose it. If you want the open cab, you can get a little more cabinets up here. One nice feature is you have this overhead shade for your skylight. So at night, maybe you want to close that. Unless there's some northern lights out or a good meteor shower, you can open it up and watch it from the bunk up here. You also have some nice accent lights right here in the bunk area. Or I can turn on my overhead lights. Let's see, which ones? There we go. Right here we've got a little cubby with 110 outlets. You've got your USB, your USB ports right there. On the other side, we do have a 24-inch TV for the bunk area that'll pull out and pivot. And then very easy to slide this over. Oh, push that one back. It helps to be a little longer. And then set up your bunk. When it's time to travel, if you don't want that over your head, it's easy to push that back in. Like I say, being a little taller does help. As long as we're right here, I'll talk about the dash a little bit, show you what we've got. Again, I mentioned there are air ride seats that run off an auxiliary air compressor. Oh, let me air that up a little bit, get a little height. Down here on my left, you notice there is a integrated brake controller. This little pedal, by the way, is for your tilt and telescope on your steering wheel. Over here on the left side, we've got our lights, we've got our cruise controls right here. It's actually a pretty basic, pretty simple dash. We do have some docking lights, trailer camera. If you're pulling a stacker trailer or something that has its own camera, you might want to toggle back and forth between them. 6-speed Allison transmission. And for those of you that ask, this mode thing, there is an eco mode, an economy mode. Basically, it's changing your shift points a little bit, so you're supposed to get a little better fuel mileage. Window controls, compartment door locks. We have our engine brake, and this is just a single-speed engine brake on this one. There's our air brakes right there. Up here, this is kind of nice because when you want to navigate, let me see, view the map. Your passenger can actually take this and play around with it and, you know, view the map for you, or get your directions. Get into the tools. The one you're probably going to use most is your camera. It defaults to that side view when you turn it on, but most likely you're going to use your rear view to keep an eye on your trailer, something like that. Below your monitor, we do have our auto leveler system here. Simply power that up, hit auto level, it does it all by itself. Now before you do your auto leveler, you might want to dump your rear airbags, especially if you're on a hill. That way with the airbags down, you get more travel in your levelers. You've got some mirror heat. This is the regen for your combustion chamber right there. Like I say, pretty simple dash. Your heat and air conditioner controls right here. And these really are simple to drive. They're a truck, and everybody has driven a truck or a big van at one point in their life. You're sitting behind the wheels, unlike a Class A, where you're sitting over top of them. So very easy for people to get used to when they're driving something like this. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the floor plan now. Now over on this side, we've got a couch. This is a hide-a-bed here. It's a double wide, almost a queen wide. I'm not going to pull that out. We've done that many times. You can look at one of the old videos for that. Overhead, got some nice storage. And they have great looking hardware. Hidden hinges, the kind of brushed nickel handle pulls there. Every window has the day and the night shade, and I actually kind of like the manual ones. It's one fewer thing to have a problem with. On both sides of the slide out, you have functioning windows. So if you want to open those up, get a nice cross breeze, maybe turn on your fantastic fan and draw the air in. We come back to the dinette. Now, you can tell this is a convertible dinette, number one, by that angled piece down there. I'd simply flip a switch, drop this down. It rests on the cleats underneath the cushions. You have to move those a little bit. And then in the back, we've got a couple of cushions that fill in this area. Okay, underneath, we've got pull-out storage drawers on each side, and there's a snap there, so when you're traveling, that's not going to come out on its own. Another one on this side. You do have a pair of seat belts over here, and again, you got some more 110 outlets. You've got the 110s and the USB charging ports throughout the coach in several spots. Over here in the kitchen, let's take a look at our storage area. Oh, first of all, there's our main TV. We have a 41-inch TV that does pull out an angle for you. Got some storage above the sink here. Another area of storage where you've got some video components. This is your over-the-air antenna there with a power booster. Below that, we get a convection microwave. And I dare say, this has probably not been used. By the way, this coach only has 3,850 miles on it, I think. Under 4,000 miles, so it's in remarkable shape. Underneath, we've got our 3-burner propane stove. And you notice it's the sealed burner stove, they call it. The nice thing about this is you're not getting a lot of food under your burners. It's easier to clean, easier to keep clean, and you don't have all those crumbs underneath. These will sit back here if you want to place them back there while you're cooking. Below your stove on this side, we've got our breakers and our fuses, and there we go. There's our 110 breakers. We've also got some 12-volt fuses here. I'm not going to break my nail. That kind of sometimes can be a little harder to get out. You've got everything labeled right here also. So it tells you what it is. If a fuse goes out, there is an indicator light to tell you which one to replace. We have 3 pull-out drawers. There's an extra water filter. They also provide you with the 3 colors of your outside paint. This one is called the burnout, the paint job. These are all soft closed drawers. The interior color is Hamden, which is kind of a nice, grayish brown, very neutral tone. I really like it. Over here, you do have a place to put a trash can, some other storage. And here we've got our undermount sink. And you do have some residential style sprayers and kitchen fixtures here. Okay, as we move back, we've got our residential refrigerator, and you've got that inverter. Anytime your batteries are on. This is cold, in fact. I think we've got, it's like a 15.8 or possibly a 17.8 cubic foot refrigerator. And these have become so efficient, they're not a big drain on your battery. One thing I didn't point out when I was going over the monitor panel, you've got the AGS, which is your auto gen start. You can set it on a couple of parameters. One, on your voltage. If you drop down to 12.1 volts, let's say, it'll fire it up, charge those batteries very quickly. The other way you can set it that's very convenient is by temperature. So if you're leaving pets in here while you go for a hike or out visiting friends, temperature hits 75, the generator will fire up and you can have your air conditioners preset to turn on at that point. So a really nice feature. Never allows you to run your batteries dry. Here we've got our stackable Splendide washer dryer. Now again, this floor plan is the 38BB. You've got to be in a 36-foot coach or larger pretty much to get this water closet, they call it. In the 34s, the 35s, you may not have this option. And if you choose not to put the washer dryer in, you're going to have an extra wardrobe or pantry or shelf storage right here. Okay, let's move back into the bedroom area. Now, first of all, this is the bunk model, and you can see how large these bunks are. They're framed in at 6 foot. They end up a little bit shorter by the time they're finished, but each bunk has a 19-inch monitor. You've got a light over on the side, 110 outlets and USB ports so the kids can charge their devices. And again, the day-night shades throughout. You've got the same thing down below. I see they left their little portable vacuum there for you. And then you can close these off with the curtains. Down below we've got some nice size storage drawers. You can see you've got your owner's manuals there and everything else. Across from the bunk is our bathroom. I'm just gonna open this up a little bit and step out of the way. By the way, that is a porcelain macerator toilet right there. But plenty of room in here. And if you are a little bit taller, you know, 6'2", 6'4", something like this, this shower gives you enough room. Now the Valencias have 84-inch ceilings. Of course, your shower steps up a little bit, but with this skylight, you can see how tall it is. So even the real tall people don't have a problem getting in here and taking a shower without having to hunch over. And a nice one-piece solid surround. You do have an adjustable shower head right there. Okay. Another thing I'm going to show you, on each side of the bathroom, you do have some doors that close, give it a little bit of privacy. And then over on here, going into the main bedroom, you have another one. And there's a little safety snap here when you're traveling, so it's not going back and forth. All right, let me just open these up, let you get a look at them. Now, if you notice, on both sides of the bed, you have a pedestal, you have the 110 outlets, USB ports. Over, open these up. Right there are our cushions for when you make a bunk or make a bed out of that dinette. And you can see over here on this side, you've got a little bit more storage with a pull-out drawer, a little larger compartment over there. But if you have a sleep apnea machine or something, these pedestals are big enough to put it there without being a problem. Okay, across from the bed, we've got our wardrobe area, and I like this setup. One of the things you can do, you can see you've got room to hang some clothes, but this can be pulled out. So maybe you're taking some snowboards or a shorter pair of skis, shotgun or a rifle or something like that. You've got room for longer items or evening gowns, big coats, things along that line. Then underneath here, we've got another place for video components. Then another storage area and a rather large pull-out drawer underneath. Like I said, these are all soft close. And then on this side, another wardrobe area. These are your shades for the front cab area. You also have a curtain that pulls around there. And then down here you have 3 more of the pull-out drawers. And Renegade really does a great job with their cabinetry, how they build things, how they design things. One of the things I want to show you is under the bed here. And I told you there's a 150-gallon water tank. So first of all, there is a bar here that you can pull up and prop this open. You can see your two 75-gallon water tanks, but also your water pump is right there. Your winterization bypass line and your valve is right there. Makes it really easy to access. But they do give you, some pretty good storage up in the front part of this also. The nice feature, nice benefit of having that water tank inside is you're not so worried about freeze-ups. All the water lines, your tanks, they're in the heated part of the coach. Even your dump valves are an enclosed heated compartment outside. So if you're using this for snowmobiling or winter use, going to the ski resort and staying in it, you've got great cold weather capabilities here. So once again, my name's Mark Love, and if you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can contact me on my cell phone at 970-631-0083. Email me at mlove@transwest.com. And this will be my last video for a few weeks. I'm actually going on vacation back to Michigan, so I got to start getting my Yooper accent on, eh? Travel safe, folks. Happy trails, and we'll see you in a few weeks. Thank you.